And just really quick as a reminder for what we're doing this for, because while we're all fun and games, this is actually for something very important. Calithon is working to raise funds for Direct Relief's Coronavirus Response Fund. While the COVID-19 pandemic is ongoing, Direct Relief is pushing to support global healthcare workers, whether it's by providing protective gear for them or cooperating with epidemiologists to better support their response. Your funds are going towards helping keep COVID-19 contained. And I see Bash Prime coming in with his meme. Why do they call it an oven when you in the cold food of out hot eat the food? And I think on that meme note, we're gonna go ahead because I'm getting word that we're ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss it over to karterfreak for their run of Mega Man 11. So whenever they're ready, they can take it away.
Yo, how's it going, everybody? I'm karterfreak, and I'm joined here by Ahmad, who's going to be helping commentate. And we're going to be doing Mega Man 11, any percent no out of bounds on normal difficulty. I'm ready to count in whenever you are ready, Ahmad.
I'm ready as well. Cool.
All right, I'm gonna count in on 3. We'll go on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
So this is Mega Man 11, and I'll let Carter to focus on the game, I guess. So I'll be doing the commentary. So let's speak about Mega Man 11 at first. We have these gears we're going to use throughout the entire run. Speed gear. And you went to the wrong level, apparently, yep. So that's a good start.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, that gives me enough time to explain the gears at least. So, speed gear and power gear. Power gear pretty much does what it says. It enhances your abilities, your weapons. Makes them stronger, and then we have speed gear that makes things slower, including yourself, so it's pretty handy in some situations. There we go, that's the right stage. We want to start with Impact, because Impact has the strongest, well, not strongest weapon in the game, but let's say the most useful weapon in the game, the pile driver. Imagine having Mega Man X dash, mid-air dash in Mega Man 11. That's pretty much what it is. So we're just going to fly through all these stages with the Impact Man weapon. Pretty much all the boss weapons are really useful in the game, but Impact is the one we really want to have energy for, and it leads to another thing here.
This jump is impossible, by the way. Oh my goodness.
It really is.
I apologize, a little bit nervous.
It's okay.
Doing fine, it's the marathon curves. Once you get the groove going, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
There we go. And that is really, by the way, one of the toughest jumps in the game. No question about that. But yeah, the energy in this game works a bit differently than most of the classic Mega Man games. You don't stop your movement at all when you pick up an energy tank. So it automatically gets refilled to whatever weapon you have currently equipped. So you see the red bar right next to Mega Man's health? That's currently the rush energy. So when you use Buster, we're going to use rush energy. We're going to get Rush Jet after the 4th Robot Master, which would be on this route, the Blast Man. And after getting Rush Jet, things will get even more interesting, but for now it's all about just using Coil. And that was the first mini-boss, by the way. Really fast job. Did you get the Mega Buster there? I don't think I...
No, I missed it. I took damage.
Here's a really tricky room with the elevators, and that jump right there has caused some gray hairs for all of our runners in Mega Man 11. Others seem to be doing a really good job so far. And he's also going for the spike jump in this room, so let's see if he's going to get it. And spike jump, let's see. There we go. He's even going to use the speed gear to make it a little bit easier. But that jump right there, it doesn't exactly have a lot of room to work with. So if you go in without speed gear for that jump, then things are going to get really hairy fast.
Yeah, if you miss that jump, you just straight up die to the spikes.
Yeah. So here's Impact Man. we're going to start the fight, or hopefully start the fight with normal charge buster to hit him once. And then we're going to use one normal buster shot to weaken him to a point where we can basically finish the job without him going for this phase right here. Unfortunately, Carter missed it, so... This is a time loss automatically. We can't do anything about this phase, his power gear phase. This is what we want to skip, but that's okay.
Yeah, so once he falls below a certain health threshold, around 50%, his next attack after, he'll do the transformation that he just did there. So the idea is we want to do enough damage to kill him before he gets to do another attack.
Yeah, and we have to time those shots pretty much immediately when he starts his next animation, and that's the reason why we always delay our shots. Don't go all in with the shots. So next in line we have Tundra Man, and while Impact Man didn't really have any gimmicks, Tundra Man is the first stage which does have some gimmicks, and well, ice physics for first. And then we have this blowing wind, which we will see in a couple of screens.
It's also
first, the wind will
start to get to see impact too. So you'll see a lot of using impact to skip different sections of levels.
True. Like this is the first real use and the reason why we pick Impact Man first. Like you see the pile driver, the Impact Man's weapon. Carter is going to use that, like I said, throughout the entire game, and if we get any lucky energy drops for anything, basically, we're just going to choose to pick it up for impact. That's our main thing here.
Impact is...
he's getting bolts, which actually are currency in this game, and later we're going to do a shop. We're going to actually buy a lot of W tanks, and we need bolts for that, so... He's been getting some lucky drops, but those are not exactly necessary as far as I know for Carter's route. I think he's going to pick up either way a lot of bolts in the way.
Yeah, thankfully,
here's
I won't need
Thunder Minimals, by the way. Oh, sorry, what did you say?
I said thankfully I won't need most of those extra drops because of the W tank route we're going to be doing.
Yeah. And that was a mini-boss, by the way. It's really hard to explain. Carter is doing this super fast. But yeah, basically we're going to use a Mega Buster there to damage the mini-boss and then use Rapid Fire. By the way, this game does allow Rapid Fire or Auto Fire, whichever you prefer.
Which is super nice for people that have not so nice hands.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about mashing. You can just hold down a button and shoot. So basically just Mega Buster, hold Rapid Fire right next to the mid-boss and then finish the boss off with one impact. This screen is extremely dangerous, but thankfully Carter did not take a death, because that screen usually ends up in a really bad situation if you do die. Alright, Tundra Man. So we're going to use double or power buster shots to weaken him up, and then finish the job with another. That's 4 power buster shots right there. And the second shot is actually interesting. We don't want him to take the blue version of our power buster shot. We just want him to take the red one, so he doesn't actually get the knockback animation and continues his normal way.
One of the interesting things is that we don't actually do a complete weakness order. So normally Tundra's weakness would be Fuse, but it's not much slower to kill Tundra with Buster, and you'll be seeing that a lot in general in this, is that Buster is extremely good in Mega Man 11.
Yeah, it really is. Only a couple of bosses we're going to use their actual weaknesses, and it's actually pretty funny in the sense that Buster is really that strong in this game.
In many cases, that even if we do use their weakness, we still end up using Buster.
Yeah, in the middle of the fight. True. So Torch next. Well, we're going to see a lot more impact usage here, and hopefully we're going to get a lot of drops. Right now, it doesn't seem like Carter did get a lot. We only have 1 extra left. And really quick mini boss. That's Sparky, by the way. Say hello, and well, goodbye. We don't see a lot of Sparky in the game. He just comes and goes. And the gimmick of this stage is this big flame chasing Mega Man from left to right, and you gotta be relatively fast not to get hit by it. But it's not exactly the most dangerous thing in the run, as long as you get used to them. But there's not a whole lot to say about Torch in general. It's actually a fun stage to run because it doesn't have that much dangers in it except the flame. And a couple of hits, of course. But overall, this is a pretty straightforward stage and a lot of impact usage, which makes it a hell of a lot faster.
This stage, when you're playing it your first time, like in a casual playthrough, causes a lot of people trouble because of the flame wall.
Yeah, it really does. That's actually a good point. For a speedrunner, it doesn't really do much, but for casual playthroughs, it's a bit tricky. You can also, by the way, use Tundra's weapon to freeze that flame if you're really in a trouble. Torchman. So we're going to use Tundra's weapon, the Power Tundra. 3 times. One normal Tundra right next to him, and he's dead. So Torch is really easy. No matter what pattern he gives you, Torch is always pretty simple, straightforward fight.
Yeah, thankfully, in the stage, we end up having enough Tundra where we can just kind of use Tundra exclusively to kill him. Later on in the refights, we're going to have a little bit less Tundra, so the fight will be a bit different.
So we'll be this man here, Blast. So there's a couple of different strategies in the refight when it comes to Robot Masters, but we'll get down to those when we reach that far. Anyways, Blast Man. One of my personal favorite stages in the game. So the gimmick of this stage, as you can see, we can explode or destroy these crates, either by stepping into the little laser there or using Torch, as you can see right now. That also ignites them. The movement is really extremely tight in this level, especially on this long room here. He's going to use impact, power. Well, wow, that's a lot of drops, so he could just pretty much fly through the entire room there. And we don't really talk about this mini-boss. He just takes one power Tundra, normal Tundra to kill, so he's done.
Do we have a second for a quick donation?
Go ahead.
We got a $10 donation from Trinity AZZ. Always impressed with the kind of efficiency I see out of Carter. Let's all speed forward like Carter.
I agree.
I'll try
So we're going to use a little...
speed forward, not into pits.
Oh!
That would be ideal.
Well, that's a bit unfortunate, but not the most unfortunate death. I mean, there's a lot more punishing deaths in the game, and that's not one of them. Still unfortunate, but hey. The run lives on. Carter might have to use a couple of... Well, maybe not. I think he's pretty fine when it comes to energy. You're going to use a W tank, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's all good. We're going to use one specific interesting coil here. I think Prizzy was the one who started to do this first place, so we can just do a little ladder skip there. And he's going to use the first W tank. Well, second, in fact. And we're going to use a lot of those, like I said, in the entire... Little detail here, he's actually going to explode these crates with a torch and skip this vertical climb with efficient usage of coil. So, Blast. We're going to start the fight with one power Tundra, and we're going to try and get some power buster shots in. And like you said, Carter also used coil in the middle of it, because Blast is obviously jumping after the second hit. And right after killing him, Carter did flick his speed gear. Just enough time for the last hit to get in. Little detail, but it's actually very important there as well.
So now that we've finished the fourth stage, we have access to Rush Jet, and we're going to be seeing a lot of that for the rest of the run. Rush Jet is extremely useful in this game. It's more or less like a second jump for majority of the run.
Probably even more than actual coil in the entire run, to be honest. Like, literally after getting Rush Jet, that's pretty much the only dog we're going to see in the game. Not all entirely, but it's super effective. So, block. I guess the only gimmick about this stage is the walls on the conveyor belts, which you can actually destroy with the blast weapon. I know I didn't know about that when I played this game casually, so that's pretty interesting detail. Also, here's the first mini-boss of this stage. Totem something, I can't remember the name, but we can finish it off with a couple of power tundras and one power blast. So here comes the conveyor belt wall. He's just going to use a power blast to destroy it, and that's all you need.
That's not right. Oh no. Oh no.
The third W tank usage there. A little struggle with the boss, but I mean, overall, missing this is not a big deal. It's actually a quite easy fight. And the last big, long conveyor belt section coming up. So he's going to destroy this first enemy here with a power blast, and then it's just switching between power blast and power impact, and he's through. Very easy, very, very easy, quote unquote.
So easy.
So he wants to save at least one impact for the last screen, and this is why. He's going to try to get past this evil Eddie. Didn't quite get it, but almost.
Yeah, you're supposed to go over him with that impact, but unfortunately I missed it.
Yeah, looks really cool when you get it, but it's really hard trick. So, block. We're going to use start the fight with a power tundra and use the normal blast weapon to get extra hits in. Then we're going to throw 4 blast bombs to the right side of the screen, so he takes pretty much critical damage. And just before he's able to transform to his big boy mode, we're going to use the Mega Busters to finish him off.
So for anyone that hasn't played, some of these bosses have transformations, like we saw with Impact Man earlier when I messed up that fight. Blockman also has a transformation.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?
Also, chat, I hope you guys are sure.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
So what Garter is doing here right now is he's utilizing the shop to buy a maximum amount of W tanks. You can actually get more than 6 in the game if you have the right chips equipped. But right now, obviously, as a speedrunner, we only have 6 slots, and we're just going to buy all the W tanks, and we're going to use those for the rest of the run, pretty much in every stage. Also, if you're playing this game on weekend, you can also change your computer time for this. You can get a 20% discount from the shop. Just a little piece of information for everyone who wants to play the game casually. Or speedrun the game. Anyways, there's a lot of to talk about Bounce. This is a very vertical stage, and it is by far the most technical and difficult stage in the game. Everything pretty much bounces you back, no matter where you touch. Well, not everything, but pretty much. And you're just constantly climbing and using the jet to get yourself in a higher position.
Shoutouts to Pump Master K.
Shoutouts to Frog Balloon. He's just using a lot of weapons to kill him. Power, torch, and block. And same thing happens in this stage. When we're not going vertically, we're just dashing through the stage with the power impact. Or impact in general. So, there's one little detail about this entire stage, which is extremely hard to execute, and that's the coiled jet jump coming to the very end of this stage. So, what happens there is Carter is going to summon Coil, he's going to jump on Coil, and immediately changes to a different weapon, which forces him to despawn the coil. And then he's going to spawn Jet, which he hopefully reaches. Let's see. Very nice. That is incredibly difficult to pull off. Even the second one! Wow, that's insane.
This would have been a goal if I didn't mess up.
That is incredible. Wow. Bit of unfortunate impact there against the wall, but that is super hard. Especially the second one, because the screen is so much further away, so you have to wait a bit longer for the coil to despawn. You absolutely cannot summon Jet before coil is out from the screen.
Aw, playtime's over.
There's not much to say about Bounce in general. I mean, the stage is absolute nightmare, but the Bounce himself is just a ridiculous joke. It's super easy to kill him.
Yeah, it's kind of
Good
funny.
job.
It's kind of funny how like that stage is probably like the cutest looking stage in this game, but it's honestly the hardest by quite a long shot.
That seems to be the theme when it comes to Mega Man games. The one stage with the very happy and joyful tune, that's always the hardest and most execution heavy.
If it's happy, you're immediately suspicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, after Bounce, we're going to Fuse, and I think a lot of people are familiar with this tune, especially if they've been watching the Mega Man 11 trailers before. A lot of impact usage again, and also we're going to use Bounce's weapons to destroy some of these sparky enemies. Hoping for a drop here. And we got one. Oh yeah, you're going to use another W tank, okay. So Carter is using slightly different strats than most of the runners, and I think they're maybe even more effective than most of the runner strats, so... He's also, as far as I know, Carter is going to save one W tank for the gear stages, so we'll see if that's going to be a thing or not.
Yeah, I'm gonna be using that as a backup in case I don't have ammo for a certain room.
Yeah. Not only because of Marathon's sake, it's apparently a Carter's own strat. So here's a mini-boss, and mini-boss is dead. Basically just jump on him and use bounce balls to kill him. Very, very straightforward mini-boss. I believe Carter does have enough impact to do the jet jump here. Yeah, he does. Nice. So this particular screen is very, 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 very difficult to execute perfectly, and he got it! I mean, you can't do a single mistake in that room, otherwise you will get hit by lasers, so that was as sick as the bounce stage was. Great run so far.
Shout out to Prizzy for discovering that strat, by the way.
Indeed. So, Fuse is not exactly easy boss to explain. He's going to start off with one bounce shot, and then he's going to charge his Buster, use Power Gear Buster to shoot him once, and it is extremely important to flick your speed gear in a specific time so you can get both hits in. If you don't get both hits in, you cannot finish the fight normally. So you would have to basically watch his speed gear phase. Well, not watch, but you have to deal with him with usually by using bounce.
So contrary to how the run started, now we're gonna do Acid Man.
Yeah.
This looks familiar.
Yeah. It's almost like we've been here before.
Yeah, actually not the first. Should be the last Robo Master. There we go. So Carter is going to use 2 W tanks here, just like he did in both Bounce and Fuse, I think.
That'd be right.
There's a lot of different weapon usage here. That's also, by the way, a really cool fact about the game. You don't have to menu to make your boss weapons to disappear from the screen. You can just throw everything at the same time if you want, and if you're fast enough.
Yeah, you're gonna actually see that happen to this mini boss here. It's coming up very shortly.
Yeah.
We kind of just throw everything at him.
It's just everything we have pretty much. And it makes the boss fight pretty fast, to say the least. So Karter is just going to use one blast weapon to kind of extend his jump. And then the mini boss is just like this. Just throw everything, mini boss is dead. Going to pick up some small energy refills, and I believe Karter is going to use his W tank in this long screen here. That's actually a really good strat. Now we will have tons of oh, another drop as well. So looking good impact wise. Didn't go for the hard impact there when falling through the spike, but good.
I figured I've died a little bit too much already.
Yeah, no need to risk it.
I got the other one though. Let's go. So that impact falling out of that pipe is actually, you have 2 frames to hit that.
Yeah. Karter's really just killing this right now. Insane. So, Acid Man fight is pretty straightforward. We're going to use one power block to destroy his acid shield, and then we're going to use power buster, double barrel buster, throw another block on him, and then another block on him, and he's dead. Sounds simple, but I mean, between all the Mega Man 11 runners, I think most runners will say Acid Man is one of the most easiest fights in the game. This, even though it kind of looks a bit complicated, but it's actually super easy.
So it's about that time that Wily invites us to his gear fortress. So we have we have 2 levels that we have to do. They're part of the gear fortress. Then we have refights, and then we have Wily himself.
So every single stage so far has some kind of a gimmick. Gear 1 and Gear 2 doesn't exactly have anything specific when it comes to being a big gimmick, but it has a lot of fits, and it will kill you so many times. Like Gear 1 and Gear 2 are no joke. They're really difficult, and also the most enjoyable stage, at least for me, to run. I think Karter will somewhat agree.
Oh, I definitely agree. Many a run has died in this stage, though. You just make one mistake in one of the upcoming rooms here, and everything just ends right there.
So he's going to pick these 2 refills here, and I don't think we need any good RNG left when it comes to this stage. Ooh, he tried to actually boost his rush jet there by shooting his power buster backwards. Didn't quite get it though. And now this long screen, he's going to pick up all these refills. Gorgeous. Going well so far. I believe Karter is also going for the second boost here with the power buster.
I tried for them, but unfortunately
didn't get it.
Didn't happen.
Almost. It's a bit dangerous because you have to pay attention to your gear. If you overheat your gear, you have to wait for it to get back from cooldown. And obviously if you can't use it, then you can't use the power versions of boss weapons.
So here's everybody's favorite boss.
Yellow Devil Mark II. Pretty famous for pretty much every Mega Man game has it. Not all, but most. Karter is going to use a slightly different strat than most of us. He's going to throw 4 more normal blast bombs, and then he's going to left side of the screen and throw another set of 4 bombs, and then hit this guy with an eye, and finish the job with 2 power blasts. Very nice kill.
There's actually a slightly faster kill if you use one W tank in that stage as well that does a coil jet. I don't go for that one just because coil jetting is already hard as it is, so...
Yeah. But hey, if you're really good at the game, it's there as an option. Gear 2. So, at this point you will just see Karter using every single weapon in the game, except Acid. We're going to get to Acid later, but throwing blocks, using impact to get past this stage faster, and then hopefully we don't get stuck in the Sniper Joe room, which is coming up soon. It's infamously bad room to get stuck on. Also, these mini-bosses, they just die by throwing one power blast to them. So he's going to use the W tank here, which makes this Sniper Joe room super easy.
Yeah, if you don't have ammo there, that room is really dangerous.
In so many ways.
It's so easy to get knocked back into a pit by the Sniper Joes.
And unlike in most Mega Man games, the Sniper Joes are actually relentless. They chase you all over the place. So
yeah, they don't mess around.
Now Carter is going to utilize a lot of just different weapons in the screen. This is actually one of the better showcases when it comes to this entire run, that screen. So many different uses of different weapons. Just like this spike room here, he's going to use 2 power impacts to get through pretty much the entire screen and finish that one guy with a power block. Also, by the way, Gear 2 has a gimmick. It's the walls that chase Mega Man, just like in Torchman. We don't see them except that one room you just saw there.
Yeah, they're a little bit slower compared to the firewalls. Torture stage. That's not good.
Yeah. So this Sigma, as we call him, is we're going to open his shell with the bounce weapons, and going to use a power impact to get some extra damage in. Oh, he still got the fight. Nice. So a bit complicated fights, but basically. Bounce to shoot his shell open, then we're going to use one impact, power impact, deal some double damage, I believe.
Yeah, it does a lot of damage to him. Easily one of the best weapons to use against him.
Yeah. Either way, it's a pretty complicated fight, but Carter just got through it very nicely. And we're up to refights, and just like Carter always says, I like to spike, and hopefully, this time, Impact behaves. This is a bit different than normal stage fight, by the way. We're going to start it off by using Power Tundra. He jumped, so we'll see what he's going for here. Nice. Got the charge at the end, which is the easiest solution. We don't have to worry about the kill that much. If he goes for a jump as his last move, then things will get awfully interesting because you don't have a lot of time to shoot the last double buster shot.
Yeah,
Bounce is the same.
Sorry, the timing is just really unforgiving for hitting him when he does jump as his last attack.
It really is. Yeah, Bounce is the same. There was nothing different about him. So is Acid. We're just going to throw the blocks on him and use 2 power buster shots, and then finish him off with a couple of extra blocks. Also, the block is the same. There's a couple of bosses which are you don't have to do it, but they're if you want to do it really optimized and fast, then you go for these strats in the refights. But yeah, block is the same. You're just going to blast him with the blast bombs and finish the fight with the Mega Buster. And Carter is going for Fuse. Also, you don't have to worry about him overheating gear system because there's so much downtime between fights.
I was actually just about to ask about that.
Yeah. So much time between, so he's all good. Missed the fight a bit, but as you can, well, that was a good demonstration. You can actually finish the fight with the bounce ball. And now Tundra is a bit different as well. We're going to use his weakness way, which is the fuse. Carter is going to shoot one up and down. and he's going to shoot one Power Buster and finish the fight with a Power Fuse. Very fast, even faster than the normal Buster fight. Torch is also one of the different fights. We're going to start it off with a similar way, using a Power Tundra, but we're going to slip in one Power Buster, just to save that extra Tundra. There we go. Perfect fight, and good pattern as well. Now, final fight in Refights is Blast, and we're going to use something Quizzy came up with originally. So, we're going to start the fight with the Power Buster, and change to Torch, jump up, use a Power Buster, and finish it off with a Power Torch. That's actually a whole lot more difficult fight than the one Carter originally invented, or at least his version of it.
Yeah, the nice thing about the refights in general is it gets to show off a lot of the strats that actually got discovered earlier in the game's lifespan. So the fight I did there on Blast was actually the original fight that was being used early in the game's lifespan. And I'm dead.
Spikes?
Yeah, spikes. I didn't jump. It was used earlier in the game's lifespan, but then there was a new fight that was discovered that ended up replacing it. Then we ended up rerouting... I'll die again. Okay. We ended up rerouting it, rewriting the boss rush so that you would still actually end up having to do that fight.
Yeah, so unfortunately Carter took a death there, which is fine. We still have plenty of impact left for the rest of the stage. This is pretty much the well, it is the last stage of the game. Usually when you go the last stage in Mega Man games, you just have the capsule fight or Wily Machine fight, or both. We have a small section here which you have to finish first before the fight. And people, we can use acid for the first time ever. So going to throw one blast bomb in, hopefully there we go. We use acid to break, well, deal enough damage to Wily to open up the windows of the machine and then finish off the fight with the acid. Fun little detail, by the way, about acid weapon. If you use the Power Gear version of it, your shield actually does damage on contact. And here's the final boss of the game, the capsule. We're just going to use either our shield, acid shield, or the blast bomb.
Give up, Wily.
Good job.
You leave me no choice. Time for Plan B.
Yeah, that's Mega Man 11. We're gonna see Wily pull off some really sweet speed gear into begging.
Spare me. I'm a helpless old man.
That's the
Mercy,
real
Mega
strat.
Man.
This should prove that Wily's a robot because he used speed gear. Only robots can do that.
I didn't lose.
A couple of unfortunate deaths, but that was actually a really good run, especially damage.
I'm the greatest.
That was a great
I'm a
run.
genius.
Still managed to get underestimated, so I'm happy about that. There was definitely some silly mistakes that happened, but that's just Mega Man 11 in a nutshell. It's a very difficult game, very affectionately referred to as an impossible game by the community.
Open your eyes, Wily.
Mainly because this game has a lot of
Look at
inputs, like
Mega Man.
a lot of inputs.
And tell me what you see.
Yeah, I hope everybody.
That's one of.
I hope everybody enjoyed the run. If anyone's interested in running the game, the Classic Mega Man Discord has got people that are more than willing to help anyone learn how to play this
But he
game.
has the intelligence to
Super friendly community. I actually had never really speedrun a Mega Man game until 11, and I was super welcomed into the community. Everyone was super generous with sharing strats. Everyone was really nice. Highly recommend learning the game. But I think that is it for us, so thank you so much for having me here, and let's kick coronavirus's
I
ass.
won't stop until I see both of you.
Thank you, Carter, for that awesome run. That was super cool. Mega Man is one of those runs that's always like a treat to see.